Hello folks, and welcome to another Richard Head Longbows video. Hello to all you people who are in the future, because as I'm making this video it is pretty much the end of 2018. I hope you had a good Christmas, and I hope you had or are about to have a good New Year's celebration. Towards the end of this year, or last year, depending on what year you're currently in, 2018, we did the last of our bow making courses, and well, this is the footage from that. I took quite a lot of footage, so it's quite a long video, but I thought, well, why not include it all so you can get a good idea of what the students have to go through, the punishment we put them through if they get things wrong, and the joy when things go right. And there's a little bit of shooting at the end as well, where they get to try out their bows. We're obviously going to be doing more courses next year and next year, but they are already booked, so don't bother contacting us. Sorry about that. The footage starts off with Richard explaining to the new students a little bit about where the workshop is and yeah, what it is that they're going to have to do. Enjoy, and see you again soon.
Right, where we are, this is the spa, and it was actually a Victorian spa.
Yes.
Oh, was it? Georgians.
Oh, and you've got the Regency houses.
Georgians,
yes,
really.
Yes.
So those are houses you pass, the big stone blocks, lodging houses.
Oh, right.
Spa. The building over there was a coach house. Our house, although it doesn't look like it was the pump house,
Yes.
the core of the building is still old stone building.
Yes.
Stone, and it's being built around, so it looks like a 1960s bungalow now.
Yes.
Next door, because it's semi-detached, it's still got a basement and apparently still pumps down there.
Oh,
really?
One of the boreholes, they had to bore down, there's a natural spring somewhere, but they had to bore down 300 feet to reach this saline water. And we think one of those boreholes is under our bedroom floor.
right.
And then further up, there's two grand houses where they had ballrooms, and they did archery as one of the amusements for guests as well.
Yes.
So it's a little historic part of
Yes.
Melksham that a lot of people in Melksham don't know a lot about.
And it was a rival to Bath, was it?
They built it as a rival to Bath,
Right.
but
Tried
it
to.
didn't. It didn't really work. Let's move those little boats out of the way a minute. We were just saying we had a customer who, member of the Woodman of Arden, he wanted a bow, and he decided to have one for his wife. Then he decided to have one for his little kiddies.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Put those in there.
Yeah, those don't draw to 28.
No, those definitely not.
And do you do arrows with rubber suckers on the end?
we got rubber blunts. I don't know if the rubber blunts.
Oh, interesting, the rubber blunts, particularly if you're thinking with kids, they actually can be more dangerous because they bounce back.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You're better off with it sticking in and staying where you shot it, to be honest.
But they're rubber blunts which were originally for hunting small game to
Knock out the
knock
bird,
them,
yeah.
Yes.
knock them down. But now they use them for medieval reenactments
Yes.
events with a flu.
Oh, that's
Oh yeah, with a flu arrow. That's one feather spirally bound around the shaft, and it slows it down.
Ah, right.
The Turks invented them originally because they were interested in flight shooting, see how far you could shoot an arrow.
Oh, I see.
So with this, you can practice the techniques involved, but not have to walk hundreds of yards to get your arrows
Oh, I
back.
see, right.
Because the record is over a mile at the moment for shooting an arrow.
Really?
Yep. So that's not with one of these.
Not with a longbow.
Not with a longbow.
No.
I mean, the bows you're making, probably. I mean, a clout distance is 180 yards. So
Yes.
you might get that, but 150 yards
Yes.
ish. Probably.
They use this at the Agincourt reenactment.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So they use them in medieval reenactments because they're relatively safe.
Yes.
You know, you don't want to be hit in the eye with it, but
Yes.
it's much safer than something with a point on the end.
Yes.
And with those feathers, they look impressive going up, but they almost parachute back down again
yes.
after about 50 yards. So,
Yes.
so that's the ones with the blunts. What we're going to get you to do first, because we've got two staves which we've worked on. It is really a time
Yes.
thing so that you can get the bows done and take them away with you at the weekend. This is a stave with bamboo backing. That's a piece of bamboo there.
Oh.
And the belly of the wood is this, which is lemon wood.
And
So-
how do you bind the bamboo with the lemonwood? How does that work?
It's glued, so we plane down each surface and then
Yes, I can see the
glue
difference, yes.
both together.
Gosh.
We put a glue on the surface and then bind it with
Mhm.
thin strips of rubber, like rubber in car inner tubes. So it grips it rather than lots of G clamps.
Yes, because that
Bind it, close binding all the way down,
Mm.
so you get an even pressure on it, and then that's it. And once the glue is set, the two are glued together. But that's going to be 3
And which
laminates.
is the bamboo? So the
The back of the bow is the outside curve, and you need something to resist the tension forces.
Yes.
And in a piece of yew,
Yeah.
I've got a bow made from yew somewhere. That one there. Let me get at it. That has got a natural pale coloured sapwood and a dark orange heartwood, and the sapwood is very good at resisting tension forces, and
I
the
see.
heartwood good at resisting compression. So you've got those two ideal properties in one
Wow.
wood,
Yes.
which
One
is
wood.
why
Without
Yes.
doing
one of the
laminates.
reasons
Yes.
that yew was
Yes.
favoured for bows, as well as its springiness. When we haven't got that, we've got to do it with different woods laminated together. So we've got bamboo, and that's how
Yeah.
the bamboo is at the moment.
Yeah.
Strip cut out of a piece that sort of diameter.
Yes.
That'll be plain flat. In this instance, the customer wants a bow with some yew in it, so that's a piece of yew that we've tapered down. That'll be the core, and then the belly will be lemonwood, which is this material, which is what you've got on your staves.
Mhm.
So,
So that'll be glued together and then cut out to
Yes.
shape. So it'll be
so
cut,
that's a three,
it'll be,
that's a
it'll
three,
be
a
cut
three-
out.
that'd be a 3-wood laminate then.
Yes,
Yeah.
so it'll be cut out something like
Yes.
that, and that's how this started. Now, back in the Middle Ages, when the Bowyers were actually making bows in
Mm.
London, we think you'd have had apprentices, people who weren't very good bow makers, doing a lot of the rough work,
Yes.
and then the actual Bowyers would then produce the bow,
Yes.
and that's what you're going to be doing.
Yes.
So all the rough work's being done by the apprentice.
Yeah, you're doing
There
the
he is.
difficult bit.
So yeah,
I'm
so,
sure.
so,
I'm sure.
so we think that the bowyers who would be the experts, and making a bow is as much as an art as a craft,
Yes,
really.
of course.
So you'd have had people, I think, doing all the donkey work, doing the roughing out of the staves, and they would then be handed to the bowyers to actually make the bow,
Yes.
which is the bit that you're going to be doing, which is where things can all go horribly wrong.
You really are doing the difficult bit.
So you might think the bow is half made, but it isn't. This
No.
is just the rough,
Yes.
rough stuff.
But so that's the basic. That's the basic
Yeah,
start.
I mean, had we had a week, you could
Yeah.
have started
Yeah.
from this stage
Gosh.
here, and then
Mm.
with a spoke shave and all the other tools to get it down to this stage.
And so, how many hours work does it take to get it to that?
Well, with
If you include choosing the materials and cutting it out, sort of a
Or
week
talk-
to get it.
well,
to
yeah, if we were
that stage.
gluing it,
Mm.
we'd probably take half a day selecting the materials, planing it all up, and then glue it up. We then got to leave it.
How long
for-
do you have to leave it for?
Probably 24 hours before you can start
Yeah.
shaping
It's
it,
things
but a
like
bit,
that adds the time.
but a
yeah,
bit
no,
longer
yeah.
before you start bending it.
Mm.
And then you've got to rough it out, which for experienced people is going to be an hour or
Well,
two.
yeah, it doesn't take.
Hour or
Which is
two
why I
to
say, if
ru-
you were here doing this, you'd be a week before you'd got to this stage.
Yes.
Really, in
Mm.
real terms. It's-
Yes, because we did a course over in New York a few
Yeah.
years ago
Oh, right. Yeah.
for one of the colleges,
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
we planned it out, and
Mm.
it was a
It
week.
took longer than it did take longer. Yeah.
So you haven't got a week; you got
No,
2
we
days.
better start.
So
Which is
This-
this.
Mhm.
because we're going to work on the back, the bamboo back. And if you have a look at it, you'll see
Oh, I
where
see.
Philip has roughed
Yes,
it out. There's
rough
lots
line.
of score marks in
Mhm.
it. The bamboo has sort of a skin on it.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is with the scraper, so hold the
Mhm.
hold the stave so it doesn't move, and then just use the scraper and scrape.
So
It comes off easily.
Oh, I see, yeah.
We'll
Just
leave the
scrape
handle,
that down
so let's see where it
and
is.
turn it as you go
Yes.
to get
So we're
all
just getting rid of
the tool
everything
marks
here.
out of it.
Have you used it?
So
Haven't
yeah, that's
scraped
quite
it? No, I
cool.
haven't, no.
It does. And then it gets it's really nice finish on
Yes.
it.
Nice.
So
Oh yes.
if you do that, so that'll be the first stage, is to get this back, because when we're bending the bow, we don't want any cut marks in this, because it
Yes.
could open up when it's being bent, because that will be the outside curve. So these nodes, don't worry too much. Well, get some of those marks out, and then we'll have a look at those
Okay.
later.
Okay, so just like
Yeah, you might have to put on quite a bit of pressure. Don't be afraid of it. Nothing's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a light touch.
It's yeah. The more pressure you sort of put on with the thumb, the more it'll take off in one movement. There you go. Yeah, you're getting through it. Nearly there.
There's a lot of serious scraping
These
going on.
are very serious. Look at that pile on the floor. Half a bow down there. is that too much? No, it's fine.
Oh, we're leaving the handle.
Yeah,
aren't we?
leave the handle.
So we need to do this bit before the handle.
Yeah. So the line is there.
Do you
Oh,
have to
so
worry
that's
about the
where the
grain
top
with
is.
bamboo?
Oh, I see.
That's the centre where you got C,
Yes.
and then that's the bottom.
Right, I see.
It's
So
not too bad, is it?
Well, I don't know, there's a grain in it,
No,
really. I mean,
it's kind of-
bamboo's a grass.
Yes,
anyway, it's
exactly.
not.
Yes, it's very different to the wood. It's
Well, we used to use hickory as a backing,
Mm-hmm.
which is this stuff. But we found that some of it was getting very brittle, and you've made, because this is very good at resisting tension. And if you've got a really nice piece of hickory, then it makes a good backing.
Yeah.
But we found the quality of the hickory was dropping, so that we would go to
Yeah.
the importers, select planks, bring it back, cut it into strips, bend them around, make sure they looked good, put it on a bow, and then a couple of months later the customer would come back, oh, the grain is lifting. You have these sort of spear-shaped
goodness
bits
me.
of grain.
Yeah.
And we were finding it very, very difficult to get good enough quality hickory. And there are still people using it, and obviously they can get good hickory. And if it was good, we'd probably still be using it. But the quality that we've got just dropped.
Is hickory a natural grown wood here? Do we grow
No, it's
it?
American,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
North American wood. So I don't know what the problem was really. So we're using bamboo, and a lot of people have moved over to using bamboo, which has proved reasonably reliable. It's not perfect. If we wanted something perfect, then we'd be making bows with fiberglass and carbon fibre.
Yeah, no, but it's
But even those break. There's nothing that's unbreakable. That's made by twisting and
yes.
laying in.
is that the bow is not?
No,
Oh right.
no, the bow is not. There's only timber hitch really, but form a loop. So there's a loop in the top end of the string,
Yes.
which we formed with the this laying in to form this rope formation. But the bottom end there isn't one. So with the tillering, we need a long string because there won't be any tension on the bow
Yes.
to start with. But then as we progress, we can shorten the string to give the tension for the bow, and then eventually get it up to bracing height. And any of this spare at the end, we can just snip that off.
Yes.
So we'll need to form a bowyer's knot to give us a loop at the bottom end,
Yes.
which involves just making a loop like that, going back in, and then turning round 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Okay.
Oh, 3 for now, and that forms a loop, which then will pull, and it won't
Yes.
slip.
I think you're right. I think it is just a timber hitch, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you know how to do that, you're laughing.
Right.
You will be kicked out the bows if you can't do it. This is what they were saying.
Yeah, three turns. Yeah, that's it. Fine.
Hey. Oh, you win the
Excellent,
prize. That was the
excellent.
quickest.
That was
quickest
good, yeah,
yet, I
that's-
think.
Everyone else was
With about half an hour trying to do
Yeah, but I used to be a Boy Scout.
well,
Ah.
because it's important that you do go back on it to form the loop. Some
Yes.
people start twisting it that way, and you don't end up with
Yes.
the right thing at all.
In the process of making the bows, you're going to be adjusting it a lot,
Yeah.
because at first the
Yeah.
string will be straight,
Yeah.
and then as the bow gets more and more tillered, you're going to be shortening the string
Yes.
to put more bend into the bow. So you're going to have to do it quite a few times.
Okay.
You'll get the hang of it.
No, I think I've got that.
It's a right. You know, a lot of the American companies. If you look back in the old days, they had something like this.
Yes.
And they'd have a big room with several ladies sitting down
Yes.
at the main.
But this is quite intricate.
The
engineering.
jigs, yeah.
Yes.
So once that's done, you take the clip off, obviously, and the feather will be glued on there, and then you just kick it round to the next preset position,
Yes.
and you've got all three
Right. Yes.
in exactly the same.
But it's a long wait between each one. Just let it dry.
Well, by the time if you do it, by the time you've got round,
It's ready
it
to
will
start
be
again.
dry.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. I
yeah.
see. Right.
That's the
Yes.
theory.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's what that's for. So it's no, well, Lindsay's got a set of arrows there, fletching. So those will then go on the fletching table.
Yes.
Feathers put on, and the customer normally asks for the colours fletches, like you did with the ones.
Yeah,
you've
no, just
got
says
the
black and white. Yes.
that's
Yes.
right. So there's a variety of colours of
Yes.
fletches, and they all come from a company in America. That,
Uh-huh.
right, that fits up there. So we've now got a hook there, and you can stand back if you want to stand back a bit in case something goes bang and bits of wood fly around
Yes.
the place. You never know. Hope not. But, so what we're going to do now is to just gently draw the bow, literally just an inch or two, just to get the bow starting to bend, so
Oh, I
the
see,
wood
right.
gets used to bending.
Yes.
We're not going to suddenly go
No.
to draw it 28 inches.
No, absolutely.
If we did that, it might go bang.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
right.
we've got to make sure the wood is used to bending
Yes.
by bending it just a little bit to start with.
So that's what tillering's all about.
And we'll
Yes.
probably pull that 20 or 30 times, and then we've marked
Yes, you
inches
I
down
can
here,
see that.
so
Yeah.
you can see where you've pulled it. So we're pulling it to 16, 17 inches,
Yes.
and then you will gradually get a little bit further.
Is that that's 22?
Yeah.
That's 23.
It's not looking too bad actually. And that's being drawn to at least bracing height, if not a bit further.
But we've only taken off probably 1/4 of a millimetre, haven't we?
We've not taken off very much.
No.
It's just that little bit. And as you're bending it, that wood is then deciding it'll bend a little bit further than it was before. So take it down another inch, 24, just past that white patch.
Yeah.
Do that. Do that about 20 times. Try again.
Still a bit more.
High spot that was not it. Let's see if that's improved it.
Not quite.
No, it's still a bit of play.
It's just.
It's the sides, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
both sides, not the top and bottom.
Yeah.
I think it's the sides.
Yeah.
There's some scissors over there on that bench. Pass them over. Great.
Where do you want me to cut?
Thanks. Yeah, back there on my fingers. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll tie a loop in there. So that will fit over there.
Yep.
And then foot on it up like we did with the other one. But put the string on first and we'll check whether that will need to go actually run down the bow.
Oh, I see, right.
Because we're going to brace it up now. We're not going to go from scratch tillering again.
Okay.
Right, so we put the cord on, see if you can brace it up.
Yep.
Put on the centre of the cord under the handle. That's it. If you put finger and thumb either side, that's it. And then
That's
you can-
sort.
that's it. I think you're in. Okay, just relax the bow then slightly. You're in.
Is it in? Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Let's see. We now check the bracing height because that might be. It's just that looks quite high. Let me check the height. That's 7 inches. That probably the string will drop down a bit, I expect. So 6.5 inches from there to there is
Yes.
sort of ideal. 7 is fine. The string will stretch a little bit by the time we put it on the tiller,
Yes.
so it will probably drop down to 6.5.
Yes.
So that will be that's fine. If it's too low when you shoot it, you'll find the string will hit down by your wrist.
Yes.
So you need it high enough.
Yes.
So what we'll do is, if you unbrace it, and we'll take it in the other room. So finger and thumb each side. That's it. Once you've done it a few times, you get. What you must make sure is that that's way round and not twisted. You can
Yes.
sometimes have the string twisted round
Yes.
within, and unless you check before you brace it up, why is it not bracing?
Yes.
And you've got it twisted round. So that can go up on the tiller.
Yep. What's he saying this? Oh, it's come off.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So that back up there again. Level it up a touch. Right.
So what are we going to go to?
Well, we're just gently draw it a few times and down to about 18 inches, just to get the bow warmed up again, and then gradually go a little bit, couple of inches further, do a few a hand.
So in fact, when you get the bow out to shoot it, should you warm it up? You know.
It doesn't do any harm to just do a few partial draws
Yes.
before you come to full draw. So brace it up,
And then
leave it for a minute, and then just draw it a few, just
And lower
half
gently,
draws,
yes.
just gently, just to
Yes.
get the bow going. Because particularly if the weather's cold and you suddenly draw it back,
yes.
the bow doesn't like that, and it can break. It's like a piece of wood. You suddenly snap it,
Yes.
but as you gently bend it, it will start to bend. So particularly if it hasn't been used for some time, it doesn't do any harm to do that. So is it looking okay to you? Is the bend still pretty even? Yeah, you happy with that?
I don't have the trained eye.
No. You're the customer. It looks okay from here.
Yeah.
So draw it down to 26. So a bit further. Right, now down to 28, which would be the next block. Right, let's check the weight then. So let it go gently up to the top. So put the scales on. And switch it on. And if you draw it down to 28, and then, okay, away you go. Down to 28 and then let it back up gently. That's it. Okay, up you go. That's £40. Well, 40 and a half.
Right, yes.
So that's £40. That's fine. That's what we were
Yes.
anticipating.
Oh,
so
good.
that's brilliant.
Yes.
And it looks pretty good. So what we do, I'll mark on the bow that it is £40 at 28,
Yes.
and then we can stamp that on there and put your initials on it, so we know
Yes.
it's yours. Solo. Can it reset to play chords behind me to fill the sound? Completely cover and sand it. Then we'll use a finer sandpaper, and then when it's nice and smooth we'll stamp the weight and your initials on it. Braid on this, so I'll cut it to length, but we're going to cover the area of the handle with glue, not the arrowdite, but a different type of glue, and then put that there, and the handle braid is going to reach just the top of that pencil mark, which is the top of the handle. So we're going to start at the top of the handle, then we'll wind it round, and then I usually then put another dab of glue there so the two hold together, and then wind it on round, just overlapping, so we don't have big gaps of wood, so we overlap all the way around.
Okay, yes.
I mean, if you wanted the leather, gold leaf leather trim, top and bottom, we've probably got time to do that.
Yes.
If you prefer it, we can. But whichever way we do, this is what we're doing. The leather then would then just go over the top.
Yes.
So we get it round to there, and then I'll cut it off, and then we, with the end of a scissors, ease that up and poke
Put
the
that
other
in.
end
Yes.
underneath
Yes.
to hold it down.
Yes.
And then that's it finished.
Yes.
Just smell it. So don't go beyond that line.
Yes.
So keep glue in there, but glue over the whole of that area.
Right. So I'll use a lot of glue then, won't it?
We will use a lot of glue.
Yes.
We've got plenty of glue. We buy those in 100 tubes at a time. We've got plenty of glue. And now overlap it. Keep it up here a bit more so we don't. That's right. And then go round. Let me put a bit more glue on there. That's it. Okay. And then go round. And then keep a bit of pressure on. So you probably can hold the bow now. That won't slip now. So you hold the bow. Hopefully you're not too gluey. We'll have to sand it off otherwise. So keep a bit of pressure on as you go round, overlapping it so we don't get any wood showing through.
Yep.
To make sure it's all tight together, which it is, I think.
So how long does that need to?
Well, by the time we've gone to lunch, that'll be fine. as long as you're happy that it's neat enough.
Yeah.
This is pretty good actually. Yeah, that's okay. By shooting,
Yeah.
you'd be okay. So it should be able.
Yeah, that's got some
Yeah,
more
give
coming
it
in.
another go. The knocking points can be up a bit, about there, so that's where the arrow would be.
Alright.
Yeah, that's it.
Half and half, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, fine. Excellent. Let's get a knocking point on it. Let's double check that. That's okay. It allows it to drop a little bit. It's 6 3/4 at the moment. So the knocking point here needs to measure a right angle across from the top of the handle, and then we go up a 1/4 inch. So the arrow will sit about a 1/4 inch above a right angle.
Yes.
If it's too low, you find the arrow skips up off your hand,
Yes.
and you end up scratching the top of your hand.
Yes.
If you find that's happening, either the knocking point has dropped, or when you hold the bow, instead of holding it there so the arrow is just there, you've moved your hand up a bit, which has the effect of lowering that and the arrow skipping up. So we start that at that position, which is up about a 1/4 inch.
Mm-hmm.
Remove that.